How women ruled the Ottoman Sultans. In the Ottoman Empire, the path to power was not as difficult as one might imagine. All a concubine had to do was master the art of seducing the Sultan to secure her place in the palace. According to Ottoman protocols, once a concubine bore the Sultan a son, she was promoted to the status of wife and then became the mother of the future Sultan. This position granted her immense influence over the vast territories ruled by the Ottoman Empire, allowing her to shape the fate of millions of Muslims. The concubine's path to power was easy due to the weakness of many Ottoman sultans. Historical sources reveal that a significant number of sultans were more interested in women than in governing affairs. They spent their lives indulging in luxury and leisure within the palaces, rarely venturing outside. This lifestyle provided concubines with the opportunity to dominate the sultans and gain political influence through bearing their children. The harem, the secluded section of the palace reserved for concubines, became a true center of power during the reign of many weak sultans. By 1475, the harem housed more than 400 concubines from various backgrounds. Although these women were ostensibly under the control of the Sultan, many had hidden agendas. Some were spies sent by enemy states to the Ottoman Empire, pretending to convert to Islam and feign love for the Sultan while their true goal was to manipulate politics. Despite repeated warnings from the Ottoman elites, who recognized the danger of allowing so many foreign women into the inner circle of power, the sultans ignored these cautions. They were too preoccupied with satisfying their personal desires, neglecting the affairs of the state and their subjects. They continued expanding the slave markets, leading to an overwhelming accumulation of concubines in the palaces while disregarding the warnings. The expansion of the harem was driven by the growth of the slave markets, where women were purchased from Europe, Asia, and Africa. The Ottoman sultans, indifferent to the suffering of these women, continued acquiring hundreds of them to satisfy their desires. These women found themselves in a gilded cage within the harem, where intrigues and conspiracies played a central role in their daily lives as they sought to win the sultan's favor. In order for a concubine to gain power, she first had to capture the sultan's heart. This was not just an act of love or passion, but a calculated step that required strategic intelligence. Once she won his love, her next task was to bear a son, which would grant her the status of the mother of the future sultan. This status gave her significant influence over both the sultan and the state. While the harem was initially a place for entertainment and pleasure, it quickly became a center for political manipulation. Many concubines, especially those who rose to the status of the sultan's wife or the mother of the sultan, held real power. In some cases, it was these women who actually ruled the state, while the sultans were preoccupied with their personal matters, leaving the governance to them. When a concubine becomes the mother of the sultan, she often gains control over the court's decisions. With the sultan preoccupied with his desires, these women find an opportunity to influence appointments of officials and direct the state. Valide Sultan and Kösem Sultan were among the most prominent women who held power and ruled behind the scenes for decades. The harem was not merely a place of beauty and luxury, it was a battleground of hidden conflicts. The concubines fiercely competed, weaving conspiracies to overthrow one another and secure their children's future. Poisonings, secret alliances, and betrayals were common in this harsh environment, where the ultimate prizes were power and control over the Ottoman throne. One of the darkest aspects of the harem's power struggle was the practice of fratricide. To ensure the stability of the throne, a new sultan would often execute his brothers to eliminate any threats to his rule. Many concubines, aware of this grim fate awaiting their sons, made ruthless decisions to secure their survival. Safiye Sultan was one of the most notorious women who orchestrated mass executions, having 18 of her son Sultan Mehmed III's brothers killed to secure his reign. It is believed that many concubines were not merely political manipulators but also spies for foreign states. Some European, Persian, and Mamluk courts sent women into the harem to gather intelligence or influence the sultan's decisions in favor of their nations. These women, while outwardly displaying loyalty to the sultan, secretly worked to undermine the Ottoman Empire. Despite the weakness of many sultans, the Ottoman Empire continued to grow and expand, largely due to the intelligence of the concubines within the harem. These women, far from the stereotypical image of luxury and idleness, were the masterminds behind state policies and alliances, playing a crucial role in maintaining the empire's stability. Over time, the increasing influence of the harem and the decline of the sultan's power contributed to the gradual collapse of the Ottoman Empire. The more the women of the harem interfered in state affairs, the weaker the true leadership of the empire became. These internal conflicts, combined with external threats, weakened the empire over the centuries until it became merely a shadow of what it once was at its peak.